It's safe to say the Lakers will not be doing anything deep into the playoffs with this current roster. Moves have to be made in order for them to have a chance at competing for the Western Conference. Let me know your thoughts below on who the Lakers should trade for that gives them a chance to compete. Now, they started out this season hot. At one point, they were 10-4. And in the beginning of November, they actually went on a 6-game winning streak. But if you look at the competition, it wasn't very impressive. Wins against the unhealthy Sixers, the tanking Raptors, a nail-biter versus Memphis without Ja, and lastly, the tanking Jazz and Pelicans. The most impressive win during that stretch was against the San Antonio Spurs, and lately, their competition has taken a step up. The last 5 games versus top-tier competition, they are 0-5. It's been rough. It started against Orlando, who has been missing their best piece, Paolo Banchero, but still, they have an elite team and one of the best defenses in the league, so it was a good test for them. They lost by 1 point in a nail-biter, but then versus Denver and Phoenix, it wasn't even close. OKC was better. It was a tightly contested game, and then yesterday, on a back-to-back, without Austin Reeves playing a struggling but good Minnesota team, the game was over at halftime. It's safe to say the Lakers, as currently constructed, are just a step behind the elite teams. And for the first time ever, it feels fair to question if Father Time is catching up to LeBron James. 0 of 19 from 3 over the past 4 games. He's approaching a record for most missed three-pointers in a row. He has 6 straight games shooting under 45% from the field. He's constantly turning the ball over more than 4 times a game. And just like everyone, he's been a huge defensive liability, but arguably he's been one of their worst defenders. Statistically, they are better defensively without him on the floor. So clearly, LeBron struggling is a big part of their struggles versus elite teams. Knowing him, he's probably going to figure it out. But if he doesn't, I don't know what they can do. Now, weirdly, during this, the Lakers were like, let's give him more offensive responsibility, shifting their offensive game plan compared to the beginning of the year. Let me read you a post from Jason Tiff. Anthony Davis usage rating over the 10-4 start, 31.2%. Anthony Davis usage rating over the 2-5 stretch, 26.7%. LeBron James over the 10-4 start, 26.4%. LeBron James usage rate over the 2-5 stretch, 30.5%. So more responsibility has been given to LeBron and less to Anthony Davis lately during the losing skid. And early in the season, their offense was carrying them. They were one of the best in the league. They still are top 10 in offensive rating because of that hot stretch. It was mainly carried by Anthony Davis and LeBron, but the offense has come back down to earth, it seems. They are 23rd in offensive rating for the last 10 games. And my goodness, the shooting on the roster just isn't reliable. It's very bad outside of Dalton Connect, hence why he has to start. He's been shooting 43% from 3 in the last 10 games. Overall, he's kind of on a cold streak as well over like the past 5 games. But the next closest in that span of 10 games is Cam Reddish. Yeah, Cam Reddish at 36% on just 1 attempted 3 per game. Austin Reeves, 35%. D'Lo, 34%. Davis and Hachimura, 31%. And then LeBron and Max Christie, 21%. Overall, as a team, they are shooting 32% from 3, ranked 27th during that 10-game stretch. So do the simple math. Teams knowing that makes it easier to load up on LeBron and AD, making it tougher to drive. It seems like the Lakers also rely on making shots to fuel them. When they are hitting shots, the more engaged they are defensively, but when they start slumping, they don't have that gear to power through and win in a different way. But going back to AD's usage going down, it's probably due to better competition and teams adjusting to AD offensively. Basically saying, somebody outside of Davis beat us, please, I dare you. But also, keep in mind, Davis has had to raise his energy level defensively due to that competition, because without him, they would be a college level defense. That's the biggest problem of the team. They're disgustingly bad defensively. He just has way too much on his plate right now. And if they kept that usage up, he probably gets injured. And the past couple games without Austin Reeves, JJ Redick has been putting some suspect lineups out there in the bench minutes. I mean, Anthony Davis is out there with Gabe Vincent at point guard. Jalen Hood-Schifino in the Jazz game. Like, what are we doing? Gabe Vincent in the last 10 games, 17 minutes per game, 3.6 points per game. Max Christie the last 10 games, 22 minutes a game, 7 points a game. And then Rui Hachimura, 28 minutes, 10.7 points. D'Lo as well. D'Lo knows he's getting traded, so his energy level, intensity on a night-to-night basis is just not really there most of the time. But as I inferred to earlier, mainly for me, everything comes back to the Lakers being horrendous defensively. They are the 24th ranked defense. They've been bad all season. And what do you expect when running a backcourt of D'Lo and Austin Reeves? But to be honest with you, if you have Anthony Davis and you struggle defensively, that's an indictment on the front office. They got no perimeter defenders that are striking fear into the opponent. And even their better defenders such as Cam Reddish and Max Christie, I guess, most games, you don't have to worry about guarding them offensively. There just aren't many consistent two-way players on the Lakers, if any, besides their best players. Not only that, but they play a switch-heavy defense, which is weird considering teams can just pick out the matchup they want. And keep in mind, there's so many defensive liabilities on the court on the perimeter, it's like, that's too easy. Also, the Lakers just lack athleticism, speed, youth. They really miss Jared Vanderbilt as a guy who's just going to get into the opponent's ball handler and pick them up full court or whatever at the half-court line, pressure them and things like that. And I know the narrative is there's no defense in today's NBA, but that's just false. You look at the top teams in the league, most of them are top 10 defensively. Overall, the Lakers are just a step behind athletically compared to those teams. I think the best stat you see this in is the fast break scenario. The Lakers are giving up 18.6 fast break points per game, the fourth most in the entire NBA. Only teams that have given up more are the Blazers, Pelicans, and Jazz. It's not a good look to be surrounded by those bad teams. Another place to look at is rebounding, because in order to rebound, you got to be quick to the basketball. Well, they are 25th in the league in rebounding percentage, which has led them to giving up 14.9 second chance points per game. So not only do they struggle getting stops and keeping their guy in front, but when they do get stops, they struggle ending the possession. That's not really a very good combo. My question to you guys is, what moves should the Lakers make? Let me know your thoughts below in the comments section.